the top media figures and journalists. During the meeting, the head of state listened to the media men, answered their questions, and he spoke about what was going on 9 years ago. Speaking about the 3rd of July anniversary, the head of state spoke about this day as a turning point in Egypt's modern history, as a significant day which took Egypt back to the right path. Before that, Egypt was heading to nowhere. These were some of the statements which were said by the president as he announced that he spoke also about the national mega projects which are taking place, and also about the national dialogue, which will embrace all political parties except for only one faction. Why? Because this faction preferred to impose its will with violence, with fighting, not through dialogue. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said that he himself tried to take them to dialogue, but they refused and they preferred to do whatever they like through fighting and through violence. And this is something which he and, of course, the Egyptian army did not accept. And they were able to take Egypt back, to regain Egypt, with the help of 35 million Egyptians who flooded to the streets to choose for Egypt, to choose the better future for the coming generations. In his meeting with this big number of media men and journalists during the inauguration of Adli Mansour Station, President Sisi said he introduced a proposal to the Brotherhood group during the instance of July 3rd to overcome the then crisis throughout holding early presidential elections and to let the people choose for their future. But unfortunately, they chose fighting and violence, so they could not participate in our national dialogue. We depend on dialogue, we depend on democracy, we depend on the will of the people. Regarding the national mega projects the state is working on, the president said Egypt is working for the future and development that will move the state to another stage, another place, adding that the state succeeded in confronting skepticism, hatred, and attempted sabotage. The president highlighted the importance of spreading awareness of the threat of skepticism. He described skepticism as the real threat facing the Egyptians' awareness. The president continued to say that the establishment of transportation lines, for example, incurs at a high cost, and there is a large plan that costs more than 1 trillion Egyptian pounds within an integrated comprehensive plan for the national projects. He added that these huge sums of money are also allocated to the energy sector, to electricity sector, all for the best interest of the Egyptian people. Also, the president announced that the private sector is very much welcomed to participate in the development progress, that Egypt depends on both the public and private sectors, and he had given examples such as the Grand Egyptian Museum. He said that the Grand Egyptian Museum, or the gym, is going to be run by a private company, for example, and not the Ministry of Culture. This is to give an example how the state is welcoming the private sector's participation or share in continuing with the path or the route of development for the new republic, for the new Egypt. Regarding education, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi also announced that next September, meaning in less than 3 months from now, he is going to inaugurate a number of public universities. Why? Just to give the opportunity for the graduates to be fully ready to open new horizons in the labor market and to lead such a successful career and a successful future. The head of state also spoke about the army. The head of state, the supreme commander of the armed forces, referred to the Egyptian army as the legend and as the pillar of stability and security of Egypt. The president also assured the Egyptians that the state seeks to make basic commodities available and with very reasonable prices, despite the fact that the whole world is suffering under the global crises. The whole world is facing since the COVID-19 emerged in Wuhan, China in December 2019, and with what is happening in Europe, the Russian-Ukrainian conflict, which ended with this kind of severe inflation and affecting negatively the whole world. Also, the president was keen to